What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of B is for Build. We're in a new place, and we will go over that in today's episode, but in today's episode, we're focused on the boat. We're gonna head out to that boat and convert it from a diesel boat to a gasoline boat. Stay tuned. All right, and with the magic of camera editing, we're at the boat. So if you guys are just joining us on this series, or since it's been a while, let me give you a little bit of a recap. About 3 years ago, I was sitting down in my living room and I watched this movie with Adam Sandler in it, and he was on a yacht, and I thought, wonder if I could afford a yacht. And I actually found out that I could. I went up to Seattle and I bought this yacht in quite a hurry, shipped it down to Portland, we did a round of upgrades on it, and then we spent the 4th of July on it with my friends. Spent the next year tooling around our river, having a good time. Then we did another round of upgrades on it and took it out to the Pacific Ocean. Did a 100-mile journey up the Columbia River through the most dangerous river bar in North America and made it out to the Pacific Ocean. And on the way back from the ocean is when things started going south. We didn't know that one of the engines actually had developed quite a bad oil leak, and it leaked all of its oil out. When we got about inland by about 4 or 5 miles, the engine completely melted a cylinder and had a catastrophic failure. So we pulled the boat out of the water here, dry docked it, where we've been working on converting it ever since. In the last few episodes, we've been developing a marine application for 2 of Chevy's largest LSX race engines possible. Now we've got those systems built and into the boat, and now it's time to start dialing in everything else so we can power those engines. We're talking about air, fuel, spark, lube, the 4 key ingredients to making an engine run happy. I want to take a second out to thank today's sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a hit mobile RPG game played by over 80 million players. What I personally love about it is how action-packed it is. Raid keeps the action going with PvP, huge boss fights, dungeons, and more. Raid just released a legendary champion based off Ronda Rousey, the pro MMA fighter and pro wrestler. Yes, that Ronda Rousey. And you can get Ronda Rousey for free right now. All you gotta do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February 20th, and Ronda's all yours. And there's more. To celebrate the release, you can use the promo code Raid Ronda in-game and get all of these goodies, and that's available for new users and old. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get all these exclusive rewards in Raid right now. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right here. That'll lead you to get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking the free epic champion Vergus, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, and 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. Raid is a great game and you guys are gonna love it. Hit the link in the description and get playing now. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring another episode. Let's get down to work. How is it up there, Kyle? Not windy? Okay. It's cold. So we've got 4 empty barrels right here, and we have a 300-gallon diesel fuel system in this boat that we're gonna work to make not diesel fuel system-y anymore. I wasn't really kidding when I was saying that we waited for like the worst weather of the year. This is the worst weather because it's windy, it's rainy, and it's just at the temperature where the rain won't turn into snow. So it's like 34 degrees outside and miserable. So we're bundled up as good as we can get, and we should get started. Let's figure out a game plan for pumping this fuel system. Focusing on the fuel system, I'll show you guys around. So on the outside, you have these things that aren't connected. Kyle's over by one. You can see it over there on the outside, and one over here on the outside. Those are our water tanks. So that's our fresh water tank. It's probably, if I had to guess, about 100 and something gallons. And you can see there's a big hose right there. That's the filler neck for the water tank. And they bridge down there. Everything else in the center here, that's the fuel system. This is all diesel fuel storage. It's over 320 gallons, and we filled this thing on our last trip all the way up. We might have overfilled it. So we had 320 gallons, which is 1,200 liters of fuel when we were about 80 miles south of here. So hopefully we burned through like maybe a gallon a mile, and we could bring that number down into the 200 something. Or we'll see, because we have what, 200 and how big are those gallons? They're 55 gallons? Yeah, so we got 220 gallons of storage in the back of the truck. We may max that out today, but we're gonna find out. So all of these AN lines, like this AN line right here, that one, that one, that one, that one, they all run into the fuel system. We gotta find out exactly what they do, because 2 of them have ball valves and 2 of them do not. I'm guessing feed and return. Yep, so we're gonna work off of the feed line, we're gonna pop those ends off, and hopefully our fuel pump, we have the right type of attachment to attach onto our fuel pump. We are just using a Holley inline fuel pump right here because it's the safest way to pump fuel without trying to catch on fire. So let's take that off and see where we stand. How we doing with the fit, Kyle?
Oh, looks perfect.
It fits. If it fits, it ships. Okay, so something that we looked at a few years ago and remembered actually worked out. I'm very excited about that. So that's a 10 AN line going into our 10 AN fuel system that runs into our inline fuel pump. Then it converts down to 8 AN, and now we need it to go overboard, over the side, into the barrels. Let's get that part hooked up, and then we can worry about the electrical system. We've been here, what, like 10 minutes? My hands are frozen. This is hard working conditions. This right here is our game plan for the shot over the side of the boat and into the fuel jugs, a discharge hose. So this is rubber. Hopefully the diesel won't eat through it. I doubt it will. And then we're gonna go from that AN line, just hit it with a hose clamp, and then we're gonna throw it overboard and get it in those buckets. We're gonna try and fill those buckets inside the truck because we can't lift them in there once they're full.
Those little ones?
Yeah, that should work. All right, let's give this a shot. That's what she's looking like. Gotta cut some of that extra slack off, get some power going here. All right, power is on. So we're hoping that these batteries still have a charge after sitting for a few years, but they should have been full when they sat. So just go ahead and tap that to the negative there. This thing, although very quiet, is running. I love how quiet that fuel pump is. Okay, get ready to do that. And then I'm gonna uncork the beast here. All right, we've opened the tap. Kyle, you ready? I think that was a yeah. Go ahead. Let's just let it go for a little bit first.
There should be good over here.
There should be fuel coming. Guys, we're figuring things out. Okay, we filled both the ends of this line with water and the pump ain't pumping. So it could be that we broke our pump by doing too many shenanigans with it, or we don't have enough power. So we're gonna run a direct line of power from the wall. We got an adapter right here loaned to us by the boatyard. So we're gonna run solid power to the pump, see if that helps it. It's possible that that battery is just like miserably low, so it's not running the pump at nearly the right RPMage. And then if not, they're still open. We could buy a fluid transfer pump. I'm thinking things through, trying to get to a solution makes us win here. So we're gonna test this fuel pump one more time, and then we'll see what happens. All right, we're all plugged in. We've got a 13-volt power supply going to the battery that the pump is on. I thought about something is I don't know what happens to diesel when it gets old, but that diesel's been in there for a few years. It's never had treatment put into it, and there's no fuel filter. It's just straight in line. So it could have been the second we turned on that pump, it just sucked up gunk, and you know, we broke it. But we'll find out. Go ahead and plug it on, Zane, and if this thing starts shooting, then we're good. Did not shoot. It just made a little, tiniest little thing. So nothing, huh? It's steady on right now. It's steady on. It should have enough power. Okay, our pump does not work. Let's go back to the store and see if we can buy a fuel or a fluid transfer pump. I was thinking about something. If we had an inline, I actually bought one of these. I guess it's in the shop or somewhere. I remembered I actually bought one of these to siphon the fuel out. So if we can get one that's in line, we can use the siphoning effect because that's much lower down there than this up here. So we just got to get it there. Let's see what they got at the store. All right, we're back from the store and we got a portable pump, 500 gallons per hour. And guess what? We actually bought one that's rated to handle diesel, so we probably won't explode. Now, it is meant to be submerged in a tank. We can't do that, so we're hoping we're gonna get enough vacuum from this to start priming itself, and then it will definitely have enough pressure once it primes itself to shove it overboard, because it's actually got like a hose attachment. It's meant to be an inline tank and then sprayer thing. Like if you want a hose on your boat, you stick one end in your water tank and then that green end is a hose. So I got high hopes. I did have to kill a squirt gun, but we've got a tube joiner right here. Should change color. It's got a little bit of transparency, so we can change color when it's full of diesel. We've got our diesel notificator right there. Got a slight kink in the hose right there. Might cause problems. We'll find out. And Zane's getting close to the power. We are losing daylight. All right. Yeah, the thing's open. Yeah, it should be good. Let it rip. Please change color. These things have zero priming power, huh? It sounded like fluid moved. Oh gosh. All right, we're doing a submerged pump test. Yep, it's working. It was pumping into our bucket, even with that kink in the hose. Okay, so there is an opening into our fuel cell back there. It's like an 8-bolt opening. Let's get access to that and just dump our fuel pump in there. It's right there where the fuel level sender is. Yep. It's got long enough leads and everything. There's no reason that shouldn't work. It's what it's made to do, actually. So why is it that always the last option is to use it the way it was meant to be used? So stupid. All right, we gotta get some tools to get these bolts off, and then we'll get it submerged into the tank. We should be pumping. Before opening up our fuel cell, we just wanted to double check that this thing is gonna actually pump. So this should create quite a fountain. Go for it, Zane. Okay. It is trying to do stuff. I think it's our collapsed hose. It's not liking. Gotta uncollapse all this hose. All right, guys, we're running the light from the yard here, but hopefully you can see a little bit. Whoa, Zane's got a light down there. Kyle's got the thing submerged in where we have the fuel level sender. So the pump is inside the tank, running through that black hose that you definitely can't see, coming up over here. Don't mind the blue hose, that's not doing anything anymore. And then into this clear hose. We tried our blue hose and it was staying flat, providing too much resistance, and we didn't have a good way to make the join, and it was causing leaks. We tested it out with water first, and it caused leaks because we were using a squirt gun to join the two tubes. So we went and bought actual brass fittings to connect this water, it's meant for like potable water hose, to the black hose. So now Zane's gonna go ahead and add power, and we're gonna hope that this finally starts pumping. Yeah, go for it. All right, check for flat spots in the hose because we are getting no, oh, we're getting a little flow. It's flowing a little diesel. Oh, wow, it's actually looking like a lot down there. Okay, we are flowing. We just got to get rid of a lot of these flat spots in the hose and we should probably get a lot more flow. Yes, we're finally pumping diesel, guys. It's like a solid red color down there. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's so dark it's going in and out of focus constantly, but we're finally pumping diesel. Well, that's not diesel on my hand. Cut myself. It's so cold out here, you can't even feel it. You cut yourself. We are flowing. Let's see if I can get you in there. Not flowing particularly fast, but it's flowing. All right. Just a few more hours of this and we'll be done. Alrighty, it's a lot later. We got full, and not even very full. Let me get you in here. Get our hose out. Yes, I bought a garden hose to get rid of more flat hose. Let me see if I could just barely, I don't know, halfway to the line. Halfway to that bottom line right down there. So that's 170 gallons-ish. 170, 180 gallons. So we went through a lot more fuel than we thought we did getting over here. But that's great. The tanks are dry. Let's get back to the shop. All right, guys, we're back at the shop. You know, a funny thing we didn't think about is how we're gonna deal with all the massive diesel gallons in the back of the truck. At 55 gallons, we can't really move them very well. So they're just stuck there now. So we'll figure it out. I'll let you know on Instagram if we're doing a diesel giveaway in the Pacific Northwest. We've worked in the snow before, and we've worked where everything was frozen before, but I'm pretty positive that was the coldest BS for Build workday ever on record. So I'm just saying this right now. If it continues to be that miserable, we may put a pause on this boat stuff because obviously we're not going to use it with weather like this, and it's not worth making the team suffer. But as long as we can, I want to keep trying to get progress done. And now's a good time because we don't have the space to work. Let me show you around our new shop. So there is our main door. Over here is office space that we don't need and don't use. I'll show you that at the end. So this is our bay door. We've got a delivery of some suspension components for an upcoming project. We've got a bunch of Benpack stuff in here. They were kind enough to send us a 4-post lift because we thought we were going to be able to use it outside of our bay door, which doesn't have a ramp. So all the cars are stuck in here right now because we can't get them out because our 4-post lift is too wide to go outside the bay door and there's no ramp to drive the cars out. So we have to forklift or flatbed truck our cars out of here. As we move this way, it is not good sight. So our tubing collection of our metal, this is a Benpack 4-post lift right here. That's our sheet metal collection over there. Just fast forward us back. We had to move from our other shop, which is 2 doors down from this. It was 9,000 square feet into this, which is 3,000 square feet, but has a like 800 square foot of office, or maybe that's like 700 square foot of office that we don't use. And on top of that, we had one evening to move. So it wasn't a lot of time, but we've got our welder, a little table over here with a bunch of toys on it. Yes, that's a Pro Charger that you guys probably haven't seen yet, but anyways, the truck, our wonderful big old diesel truck right here, awaiting its new frame. Got some table stuff, our dynos, our wall of Nitto tires over here, filling up space. And then we're back to the cars. So these are just the most important of the cars that I wanted to keep in an environment that's locked, temperature controlled, and obviously indoors. So I guess you could call this my top 9 right now. 3 Lambos, R34 GTR, R35 GTR is in storage too. That's really nice. It's in my garage, personal garage. Supra, 240Z back there. Brand new Mustang, and the 350, I almost said 350Z, 370Z giveaway car. So if you go to BS for Build right now, buy any of our merch, every dollar spent gets you an entry to win this thing, which is given away towards the end of January. So it's coming up pretty quick. We're gonna be giving this baby away to one of you guys, which I'm very, very excited about. So these cars kind of stuck. We can't do as much stuff with them as we used to be able to. And also, yeah, we can't get past the truck and we can't get out of here. The office space, I don't even really want to show you guys because it's that embarrassing. But I mean, hell, this isn't my spot. I don't treat things this poorly. And I wouldn't rent something this bad out to people because it's frankly really embarrassing. So why not show you? This is like what the landlord thought was okay. This roofing probably has asbestos. It's got water stains. It's got a giant hole in it, a non-working light. Everything's gross. Everything smells weird, like a mixture of just mold and death. And you know, where the roofing has gone, just a little bit of cardboard will do the trick, I guess. It's such a joke. So this is a lot of our stuff that had been stored throughout different rooms is kind of all just piled in here now. Luckily, we got room for the couches. So, this is our space. We're gonna be able to do some small stuff in here, and we gotta figure out bigger space. So I put an offer in on a very, very cool space that is 9,223 feet. It is radically expensive, but really not a lot of other options out there on the market right now. And although financially it scares the hell out of me, we did just pay for a 9,000 square foot spot over there for a year, and we did just fine, to be quite frank with you guys. So it's a big leap for me. And I still have to pay the lease on this shithole for a while, which I'm not stoked about, but I'm gonna probably try and get out of as soon as I can. So we've put in an offer on another space. If they accept our offer, we could be moving before the end of the month, which would make me so happy. We have a lot of projects coming up in the future between body swapping cars and using different cars for parts and stuff that are gonna require taking a lot of different things apart at the same time. And right now with this space that we have, we can't even store much more than half of our cars and have any ground space to work. And I need a lot of ground space. So I need a space that is more rectangular or square. I think is an optimal floor plan layout than long and skinny for automotive. Long and skinny doesn't really help anybody. So that's where we're at. I want to just let you guys know kind of what's been going on and why we're, you know, in a bit of a holding pattern, but this is good because we are working on the boat, and that's always been the game plan, is to get the boat finished up. I think the only thing that could potentially slow us down on that boat is the weather. So we're just gonna play this kind of fast and loose and see where the chips fall. Tomorrow we're gonna go back to work on the boat more and keep going on that. But I've got some cars that I bought at auction getting delivered, and whether we're working on them here or the new shop or whatever, if that's fun stuff that we run into, I'll show you guys that too. And there's no reason now we have a bigger team with 4 people now, we can work on both things at once also. So a lot of options, a lot of fun stuff coming up. It's gonna be a very, very fun year. This last year, 2022, was really hard for me, you know, with fighting cancer and everything else like that. And not that hard equals bad, because I'd call it a great year because, you know, I'm alive. So it's a great year, but next year is also gonna be a really great year. So we have a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. Feeling very fortunate, very grateful. And although, you know, this place sucks, we'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and head over to bsforbuild.com to get entered in our car giveaway. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace! Come on.